Hello friends, today I'm going to read my version of Captain Pajamas, Defender of the Universe. This book is sadly out of print. It's very cool if you could get your hands on it. It's sort of like a comic book or a graphic novel. There are a couple things I'm not crazy about in the story, so I have adapted them to fit for the storytime crowd. And I changed Jessie. You'll see she's more active in the story. She's also a superhero. And I did change the ending of the story to work for the preschool audience. I'll explain at the end the original ending of the story, which would work for more school-age kids. So this is one of my first flannel boards I did, so as you can see I did use paper. I didn't use felt. It still works, and it's really quite funny, so I think you're going to like this one. So here we go. So this is the story of Captain Pajamas, Defender of the Universe. Alright friends, these are my two friends. This one is Brian. Could we say hi, Brian? And this is his sister Jessie. Can you say hi to Jessie? Great. They're getting ready for bed, so what should we do when we get ready for bed? Oh, we could brush our teeth? Sure, we could do that. What else? We should get on our pajamas, right? I like Brian's pajamas. They have Batman on them. And Jessie's pajamas match her Tinkerbell bed sheets. So those are pretty cool. Alright, so they get into bed. Oh, did they put their socks on too? Okay, great. Let's put on our socks. Alright, so they get into bed and they're laying there and they have their eyes closed like this. Can you do that? Alright. And then... Did you hear that? Yeah, me too. Brian says, Jessie, I think it's time for a little Captain Pajamas. Should we play? Sure, says Jessie. Alright, so they're going to jump out of their beds. So Brian gets out of his bed, Jessie gets out of her bed, and they're going to put their superhero costumes on. What should we do? Alright, well they each have a cape. Look at this. This is a pretty fun cape that Jessie has. It's a princess cape. And then Brian has his John Deere cape on. Alright, what else should we put on? Oh, our goggles? Okay. Oh, our mask? Okay. What else? Oh yeah, Batman has that utility belt. We'll use that. How about special gloves? Alright, how about some boots? Alright, perfect. Alright, so, let's see. They're gonna quietly tiptoe down to the bathroom. So... Can you help them tiptoe really quietly? Alright. They think that they hear a noise coming from the bathtub. Are you feeling brave? Okay, good. Well, we're going to gently open up the shower curtain. So can you help? We're going to go like this. Okay. Alright. Brian thinks there's an alien behind the bath. Do you think there is? No. You ready to see what's hiding? Oh, that's just Silly Shadow. Oh, their little puppy dog. He's pretty cute, right? So we could go like this. Silly Shadow. Alright. So they leave the bathroom. But they hear another noise. You hear that too? Oh. Jessie says, I think it's coming from the kitchen. Let's quietly tiptoe down the stairs. Alright. Oh. Jessie says, I think there's an alien in the refrigerator. Do you think there's one hiding? Alright. Let's help them open the refrigerator door. Let's see. Do you think there's an alien? No, me neither. Let's see. Look. It's just Shadow and he's having a little blueberry treat. So what do we say when we see Shadow? Right, we say Silly Shadow. Oh, that was close. Alright. Brian says, you know what? I think I hear a noise. Do you hear that? In the living room. So let's quietly tiptoe over to the living room. Oh no. Do you see that hiding behind the television? Uh-oh. I think it has antenna. Do you think it's an alien? Me too. Alright, let's quietly tiptoe behind the television. Who is it? It's Shadow. Look at that. He's got the TV clicker in his mouth and the TV antenna on his head. Oh my goodness, he's so silly. So what do we say? Silly Shadow. Alright, I guess it's time to go to bed. What do you think? Alright, let's tiptoe up the stairs. Alright, let's get ready for bed. We got to take our superhero capes off. We have to take our superhero utility belt off. Our goggles. What else? Oh yeah, our boots. Alright, and we're gonna put them to bed. Alright, so let's say goodnight to Brian. Alright, he's gonna slip into his pirate bed. And let's say goodnight to Jessie. She's gonna slip into her Tinkerbell bed. And she's gonna say, "Hey Brian, I think there's an alien in my bed." Oh no, really? So Brian tiptoes over. He's really, really brave. He's gonna help Jessie. And they're gonna open up the bed sheet. Do you think there's an alien? Let's see. Oh, look who's hiding in there. Silly Shadow. That was a pretty silly story, huh? In the end of the book, there actually is an alien in Jesse's bed. I'll show you the page. It's really quite funny. He's eating pizza and watching TV and drinking a can of soda. But for the preschool age, of course, that would kind of frighten them, so I changed it just to be Silly Shadow. If you're using this for the school age, I think the alien would be a great addition to the story. But in the story, Jessie was kind of the older sister who was annoyed by her little brother, and she wasn't a superhero in the story, but I thought it was a little bit better to make them be pals and do the story together. So that's the story of Captain Pajamas, Defender of the Universe.